about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free.
Welcome. See, I already read it out. It's already read.
It's already too loud.
Sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Road to Self-Love, where we are literally and figuratively on the road to self-love. I'm joined with my good friend, Kayleigh. She is just like a goddess amongst goddesses. She has her own amazing green skincare line. She is an influencer. She has a really sexy husband. Like, what more can you want
He's pretty
in life?
sexy.
He's like this. That's it. So, Kayleigh, why don't you just tell us about yourself? Just tell the world. Pretend that we don't know you.
Okay,
Pretend I didn't
start from
introduce
square
all the
one.
amazing things about you.
Done. So I'm from the East Coast originally, now living in beautiful San Diego with amazing people. And I've been out here about 5 years. But my background and past is actually more in the business and corporate world. I worked in professional sports for a while. And throughout my time in the corporate world, I found myself extremely stressed out. I really lost myself. I grew up as an athlete, pole vaulter, track, field hockey, gymnastics, and when I was working in the corporate world, it was actually the longest time I'd ever gone without working out, and not even just working out, but not moving a lot. And I found myself getting a lot of different health issues. I wound up in the hospital from a herniated disc to stomach ulcers to I had cysts on my ovaries, and I felt like my body was just going it was literally going haywire.
I was like, any of this.
Yeah, I was in and out of the when I lived in Cleveland before San Diego, and I was in and out of the hospital.
That's why. I mean, love you all my Clevelandites.
I was in and out of the hospital, and I wasn't my happiest at all. I'd met Matt around this time, so I was really happy with him, but in all other aspects of my life, I wasn't happy. And so I ended up leaving my job and became a little bit happier with that weight off my shoulders, but I felt like I'd lost myself. I was like, I used to enjoy, sports and moving and getting outside and bike riding and art. I used to love pen and ink and getting on the potter's wheel. And I felt like I'd completely lost myself in all of my passions. And so for a short stint of time, while we transitioned out to San Diego, I actually coached gymnastics for a while. Because I grew up doing gymnastics, and it was just something easy that I could love and get moving again. So I did that just for a while until we came out to San Diego. Ended up getting another corporate job out here, but it allowed me to travel a lot. And because I was able to work from home while I did that, I started to regain my passions. I started coming back to moving all the time, and I would walk everywhere, and I was cooking again because I love cooking. And so I found, and it was crazy, I actually dropped 15 pounds with just walking everywhere and cooking at home. I wasn't actively being oh my gosh, I have to lose weight. It literally just fell off me.
Wow.
Just from moving and eating really well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So you're talking about passion, and passion is a lot, has a lot to do with things that I talk about when it comes to finding your passion and your purpose. So what would you say your true passions are? Maybe your top 3 passions.
My passion lies with helping people. That's where everything that I do stems from, and that's where you can find throughout all of my jobs and different passions and hobbies that I love, it's all rooted in helping people, and helping people either find what makes them happy or just doing something that makes them happy, or being able to give something to someone that makes them happy. So I ended up going back to school to become a holistic nutritionist because I became so passionate about nutrition, and I began helping people in that way. A lot of people would ask me for advice about, how to just find movement in a busy corporate job, or how to eat healthier, what are just like really simple recipes you can make that aren't extravagant. And I enjoyed helping people that way. So it was always helping people to help them find the best versions of themselves in whatever capacity that is.
Love that.
Which is what Paul is amazing at, and helping people find, how to find their love again within themselves. And so mine was a little more of like the tangibles, like what can you be making at home that makes you feel good? Where can you be moving that helps you feel good? So I created my blog because I felt like answering text messages and emails from friends, families, and acquaintances was becoming like a part-time job.
Yeah.
That everyone was asking for these recipes that I'd never written them down, and so I started writing them down. I started just getting my tips out there just for moving and recipes and all those different things.
And what's the timeline on this? When did you start your blog?
About 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been doing it for a second.
I've been doing it for a second.
And how has your blog over time just like grown? Actually, I want to know more so like when did CLEARstem become a thing?
Yeah. So I was traveling a ton for work and working on my blog. I was very stressed out again. Extremely stressed out. I was going to a lot of evening dinners and events where I didn't have as much control over what I was eating, and sometimes I would prepare, sometimes I wouldn't be able to. So my skin in a matter of like 2 months broke out in bright red cystic acne everywhere.
I just get goosebumps.
If you just Google Kayleigh Christina skin, it should be it's like the first blog post that pops up on Google. And it's like, people don't believe me until I show them a picture. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like you aren't lying. Like it was bad. And so I was trying to work on things internally, but a lot of the knowledge that I lacked was external ingredients, because it's a different ballpark. Like coconut oil and avocado oil are amazing in your body, but they're not good on your face because of the molecular size, actually. Getting a little sciencey for a second, but your skin is all about balancing pH between your skin, water, and products, and also what products have molecules that can actually be absorbed into your pores.
Got it.
So it's an entire different ball game from nutrition. And so I met my now business partner, Danielle. She owns San Diego Acne Clinic in La Jolla. And I started learning from her.
Cool.
I would get facials from her. At one point it was every week, then it was every other week, and I would just lay on her table and ask questions for the entire hour and a half. I wanted to learn anything and everything about the body externally.
So I want to go back to this whole thing that you just said about coconut oil, because coconut oil is such a craze in skincare.
Yeah.
So is it specifically just for acne-prone skin, or is this something that all of us should be considering avoiding when it comes to putting coconut oil on our skin?
It's all of us, and the reason is because the science behind it. Some people might not experience breakouts right away, or if they're not acne prone at all, they might not experience breakouts, or they might get those tiny bumps and not think they're breakouts, but it's kind of like uneven texture. Coconut oil, the molecule is too big to be absorbed into the pore. That's it. So other oils like jojoba and hemp are amazing. Those can soak right in, but coconut oil just sits on your skin, gets into the pore, and then just sits there until it's either exfoliated out, extracted out, any of the above.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mind is kind of blown right now. That is, it's really, really great to have someone who's in the space who actually is passionate about sharing all information, because I think that what I've experienced is every brand is my brand is the best, and I don't want to talk about anything else, and I think that it's really powerful to share the why, because in the day and age of just marketing and just pulling the wool over everyone's eyes, I've been talking a lot about those brands that might be the only brand in the industry when it comes to food that has a keto, vegan, gluten-free option, but they're the ingredients are crap, but because it's the only option, we're just oh yeah,
it must be good.
It must be good because we don't have any other options. So back to just the creation, why don't you tell us a little bit about CLEARstem in itself? We're throwing around that name, but if no one's ever heard of it, how would you introduce CLEARstem?
Yeah, so we are a combination product. We target both acne and the aging of the skin. The reason why we did that, hundreds of clients in Danielle's clinic is between the ages of like 22 and 32.
Okay.
And a lot of people are either experiencing breakouts the first time in their life, or they're going through a second round. Maybe they went through breakout as a teenager and they're breaking out for the first time again at the age of 26, 27. And they're freaking out. I mean, you're like, I'm an adult. I thought I was supposed to be done breaking out. I thought my skin was supposed to be beautiful after my teenage years. And so we wanted to develop something that would help control breakouts, heal them, keep your skin clear, but also hydrate your skin, because all the stuff you get prescribed or given when you're a teenager for acne is so drying. It's so stripping of oils. And as we get older, we lose all those precious oils that we had as a teenager. So those same type of products just don't translate. And if you still use them, one of the biggest causes of deep wrinkles is dehydrated skin. So the more drying products that you're using, the deeper the wrinkles get. So Danielle is the biochem brains behind CLEARstem. She is absolutely phenomenal, and we have all the case studies from testing within her clinic. And basically what we did is we worked with an amazing skincare chemist in California, and we sat down and picked out a bunch of different things from other skincare lines that we liked and a lot of things we didn't like. So we handed over lists of hundreds of ingredients that were not allowed to be put in CLEARstem, and ones that we specifically wanted for different reasons. Like we wanted different adaptogens like reishi mushroom to help your skin adapt to its natural environment. We wanted hydrators like aloe vera and things to reduce inflammation like white turmeric and green tea. And so we wanted all these things. We also have collagen within it, so it actually helps your skin rebuild its own collagen as well. So we created this to really be a product for people that were struggling with both, that were struggling with acne and wanted to keep their skin really hydrating and plump and glowing while they were treating their acne.
So I have to share that Kayleigh gave me this product, and I don't really struggle with acne a lot. Like I'll get spots here and there, and it's totally stress induced. Yeah. But I also am a really big fan of like tinctures. Like I have like an ashwagandha tincture and all these things. And for some reason, I decided to leave the CLEARstem right next to my tincture. And one morning, I ended up putting CLEARstem underneath my tongue. And I'm really grateful that all of the ingredients are like really good for you, because it's not that it tasted bad, but I wasn't worried about it being in my body.
Yeah,
so,
you don't have to freak out. And
so if you want a really clear way to just clear up that skin, just like take a shot from the bottle.
Morning shots of CLEARstem.
So anyway, I think that now's the perfect time. I'd love to play a little road trip game. So here on the Road to Self-Love, we just love to play games. And I'm curious, have you heard of the alphabet game?
I don't think so.
Okay, so this is how the alphabet games works. Okay. I'm going to give a category, and then we have to go A, B, C with names. Good. So I hope you're ready. And, I've got to one up because I haven't told Kayleigh what we're doing.
So he's been thinking about these things.
Yeah, but I've actually been having a really hard time, so I'm just going to make it really, really hard for us.
Okay.
So category is skincare lines and products, okay? So if you want to, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You start.
Okay, so I'm going to start with like the beast of no-nos. I mean, but if you want to sponsor, no, don't even sponsor. Okay, A, Accutane.
B, Berlin Skin, which is another San Diego local company.
C, CLEARstem.
Oh, I love it. D, can I do like derma rolling? Like that's a skincare kind of thing.
Yeah, great. Derma rolling.
Dermalogica. I'll do Dermalogica.
Great.
Okay. I won't cheat.
E, what is it? It's like elephant.
But it doesn't begin with an E.
Oh, it doesn't? Dang.
It's drunk elephant.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect. Elemis.
F, Folane.
That's a...
It's a skincare
well,
store.
I guess she does have I think
they have their own stuff, right?
Okay.
It's like I'm like cheating the whole time.
I'm cheating. G, Glossier.
H, I feel like I'm scanning like stores, like scanning like Sephora and Credo Beauty and H, come on. honest company. They do make skincare products.
Okay. You're probably like, oh, I have one immediately, just like I had one
I'm
just
like
for
already
H.
trying to think of the time.
Why is Isogenics the only thing that's coming into my mind right now that is not a skincare line? Oh, come on.
I don't even know one for eye,
Yes.
actually.
Yes. There's got to be one.
Yeah, there has to be.
There's got to also be a time limit here. But,
Eye.
Okay, well, I lose. I lost.
We made it to I.
Okay, we made it a lot further than I personally committed because I couldn't figure out anything for D. So
I
I'm
didn't
really
know
proud
what
of
I was going to do
myself.
for J. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm glad that we're both really, really well versed.
Yeah.
So
I get nervous these types of games. Like I'm like, oh, I have to get a word. I have to win, and then I draw blanks in my head.
It's fine.
always.
It's fine. So I want to talk about like the influencer space a little bit, and I think that you'd be really, really great to chat about a couple of things and let me know, because we already talked about your sexy husband, right? And I also have like a pretty fan favorite husband.
Richard is amazing.
Yeah, Richard
he's
is
the best. He's so sarcastically funny. He kills me.
He kills me too. It's really the worst, but the best.
But the best.
I've yet to have him
best.
on this show because I don't know what would go down. He just always loves to call me out on all of my nonsense.
Matt loves calling me out. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
He
So
loves it.
here's my question for you, because every time Richard shows up, my engagement just like goes through the roof.
Mine too.
And it ruins my life because A, he doesn't want to be a part of it, but B, I'm just like, babe, I just need a little hit. I just need a little like dopamine hit from like the engagement. So could you show up?
Get on.
And then he refuses to do it. So tell me about, like, because I saw Matt got to go to an event with you.
He did.
And did that like get him really upset that I wasn't invited to that event? But anyway,
I know. We'll get you to the next one.
I know. Just like, it's fine.
I know.
Nobody noticed. I'm not upset. I'm really angry. But like, I saw him. When did he, or has he yet? Because there's like this Oprah aha moment for Richard when he was like, oh, I get what you're doing now.
I think in the beginning it's hard because you're like throwing a camera or a phone in their face and being like, take a bunch of pictures of me, I have to do this, take a picture of me eating this, or I'm about to make dinner but I have to take like 50 photos first before we eat, and then now like dinner's getting cold. And so at first, like, it's just on the outside, like it's super irritating. Like Matt used to get really irritated at me, and I think the switch really happens when he starts to see the difference I started to make. I think, and I know this is terrible, but from like outside sources, from people being like, oh my gosh, you've like helped me so much in X, Y, and Z. And then also when he sees me in my element, like how excited I get to do what I do, that's when the switch happens. Don't get me wrong, he's still like not excited to take pictures about me, but he doesn't complain about it. And I try to organize things so I'm not always like having him do everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's just really understanding like your partner's purpose, understanding like what makes them happy and where this is leading to. Like, hey, I need pictures for this because this is what I'm doing with it, instead of it just seeming like really random to them. So I think that's when a little more of the switch happened. But I'm not gonna lie, every time I post a picture of Matt in my Instagram, it has like the most amount of likes and comments.
Annoying.
And every time he like jumps on my Insta stories, everyone's like, haha, Matt's so funny. I'm like,
You're like, and I also, I'm just like really impressed that his barometer of your like wanting to be included was how much you've helped people. Richard's was like when I started getting sponsored posts. He's like, oh, you're making money now? And I was like, yeah. Or like we just
he likes that too. And when we get a lot of like free stuff in the mail that Matt really loves eating or using or whatever it is, he's like, keep it coming. Like that's when he likes it.
Oh, now you're into it.
Yeah.
I get it.
But we were just talking about the other day, because Paul and I were at an event together last weekend, and we were each allowed to bring a guest, and Paul didn't bring Richard and I didn't bring Matt. And it's like, it's not Matt's favorite thing to go to events, but every once in a while I tell him, like with the event the other day we went to, I'm like, see, every once in a while, like there's a good event and you get perks from it, and like I'm not leaving you hanging.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I don't like drag him to all these things where I'm like socializing with all my friends and he barely knows anyone, and I'm not gonna, I used to in the beginning, and then I realized like this is not fun for him. He'd rather be at home watching a basketball game or whatever else he wants to do.
Or whatever else, just being alone.
Yeah.
They love to be alone.
They love their personal time. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either. Okay, so Kayleigh, like, tell me about what it looks like being an influencer, but also having a product line. You know, you're ahead of the game because, like, my goal is to have a product line, and I just started thinking about it and evaluating if it'd even be smart for me to do. And you really already have that. So where do you see yourself in, like, the next, like, 3 to 5 years with your product line, but also with your blog and just your influencer career?
So my passion has always lied within business. I've always loved that. It's something I never wanted to let go of. So I've wanted to come up with a product for years, and for so long I thought it was going to be a food-based product. And I never came up with the idea, the new idea. I didn't want to like redo something someone else was doing. So that's always been completely front of mind for me. So I was really excited when the opportunity to launch CLEARstem came about and I was able to. But as I grow, I honestly just see myself diving more and more into CLEARstem. And as far as the influencer side, I want to be seen as more of a leader, a woman leader within the business world. I want to be able to go and speak at universities and colleges and talk to young women and even young men too about, what it takes to start your own business and what different avenues you have. And because everyone's path is so different, and I want to be able to share my journey and path and hopefully mentor some people as well. So really, speaking engagements and mentorship and continuing just to grow CLEARstem and our mission and be able to continually give back is something I want to continue achieving in that direction.
I love that so much. And what's really powerful to hear is that, like, you're so crystal clear on what you want, so I have no doubt in my mind that you will make that happen.
Thank you.
So I think that it's perfect time for another round of road trip games. So we are now going to play the infamous Fuck, Marry, Kill. And however, I'm going to throw a little twist in there. So Fuck, Marry, Kill, face wash, moisturizer, or exfoliate, exfoliator.
Okay, face wash. Okay. Marry moisturizer. Fuck exfoliator and kill face wash.
Oh yes, I'm so down with that. But my answers are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that,
I can't live without a good exfoliate, like dime piece exfoliator on the side with my moisturizer every day.
Seriously. And it's like be super like aggressive and abrasive. Like just like tie me up. Yes.
Exfoliate me.
Woo! Oh great. Well, thanks for just like dipping your feet into that one with me.
Got you.
So, as our road trip comes to an end, tell us like the where we can find you. We already talked about what's next for you, but I just have 2 more questions. So tell us where we can find you and all that good stuff. Okay,
so on Instagram you can find me Kayleigh.Christina, and please follow CLEARstem Skincare on Instagram as well. 2 very different Instagrams. Mine's a little more inspirational, my life, tips and tricks. CLEARstem is very much all about skin. We have tons of different tips within our Instagram page, and then that'll lead you directly to the website. And then my blog is KayleighChristina.com.
Amazing. I have to actually share another story about CLEARstem. Yeah. So my cousin, he has like gnarly acne, and he came up to me at Thanksgiving and he was like, "Hey Paul, what do I do about this?" And I was like, "You got to cut out gluten and dairy." Yeah. And I was like, "And also you got to use CLEARstem." So I sent him a bottle of CLEARstem. I kept the pink for myself, but I sent him the bottle of CLEARstem, and he cut out gluten and dairy, and his skin has completely transformed. I'll have to send you before and after photos so you can share.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things we address. Like with CLEARstem, we always talk about how education is first, product is second, and we educate on diet, on different things you're putting on your face, on makeup, on your lifestyle in general, like when it comes to working out, what different like exercises can induce more acne than others, sleep and stress and all of those things. So, but gluten and dairy, that's the first thing. that we tell people. It's like, if you want to get clear, you gotta cut that out. Like,
Yeah.
it triggers the inflammation, it triggers the excess oil, bacteria, breakouts. Like, it's a breeding ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross.
It is, and you know, I always get this comment, but I love cheese. Okay, well, clearly you love cheese more than you love your complexion.
Yeah,
so.
you gotta make a decision.
A little tough love moment. So my final question for you, Miss Kayleigh, is we're on the road to self-love, and my question for you is, what does self-love mean to you?
Self-love took me a long time. My mom actually used to tell me you can't love anyone else until you love yourself.
Okay.
And I never really, I understood it, but I never felt it. It took me a long time to love myself. And even at times where I'm like, oh no, I love myself, like I clearly didn't. By the things I was doing, the way I was treating myself, the way I was talking to myself. Self-love, I feel like, is a little more of an aha moment. Like it's not something you just like turn on one day and you're like, I love myself. It's something that you work on every single day, and then all of a sudden you realize one day that you look in the mirror and you're not attacking your body anymore. You're not saying like, I look fat, I look this, I look that. You're not looking at your face being like, why does my nose look like this? Oh, I wish my eyebrows were like this. It's not scrolling through your Instagram being like, oh, I just wish I looked like her. Why can't my husband look like that? Why can't my husband make that much money? Why can't I make that much money? All those different things. Just one day you realize that you go through life and you stop comparing yourself as much, and you stop, or if you start to, you recognize it and you're like, that's not me, that's not self-love, because we're all human. So for me, it's just to be comfortable in your own skin and to no longer be harshly comparing yourself to other people.
I love that so much. I hope you all just like, we're taking notes then, because being a Kardashian is not a cute look.
It's not. And there's also nothing more uncomfortable when like, I feel very confident in myself, and there's nothing more uncomfortable than with a friend and that friend is just tearing themselves apart. Like they're looking in the mirror being like, oh, I look so ugly. Oh, they put on these jeans and they're like, oh, I look so fat. Why is this sticking out? Why is this doing that? And when really I'm looking at that person, I'm like, you look beautiful. Like, I don't know what you're referring to. And it also like hurts my heart that you just want to stand and rip yourself apart. And it hurts me. I don't want anyone else to feel that way. And I think just the more you work at it and the more you listen to everything Paul is putting out there, like the more those shifts will continue to happen.
Oh, wow. You know, you have like really plugged my services twice, and it means so much to me. I'm not going to charge you to be on this anymore. So, well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in for The Road to Self-Love. If you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure to give this the big thumbs up. Make sure to leave a comment, share this. And if you're tuning in on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure to rate and review. It means the world to me and all of my shining guests and helps us spread the word of self-love. So thank you so much for being here. We will see you next time on The Road to Self-Love.
Woo woo!